Hey, what's happening, everybody? This is Brian, also known as OCD Mindful, back with another video. Today's video, I think, is an important one, and I think it's really going to be worth the watch. And if you're actually using any of my videos and trying to treat your OCD, even by yourself or in conjunction with working with a therapist, I would recommend jotting down some notes, anything that seems to stick for you. I think it's very important throughout your entire treatment to be writing stuff down. And all right, so today's topic is, why do some people seem to not get better from OCD and others seem to get better really pretty quickly? To me, there could be several answers, but the main one is that the people who don't get better just aren't fully taking the plunge, and they're taking their current sort of essence, their current attitude, their current entire way that they live their life, their point of view, their attitude, all of those things, and they're trying to use that to treat their OCD, when that is the thing that's responsible for them having OCD in the first place. So they're trying to treat their OCD with an OCD type personality. And like, this gets to the crux of all of this stuff. This is like the underbelly of all of it, is what ERP is supposed to be doing. It's a type of cognitive behavioral therapy that's supposed to be making profound changes, in your foundation of who you are, so that things that bother you now, you get to a point where they genuinely don't bother you as you're moving along with treatment. But so many people are approaching their treatment from their scared, I can't do it, I can't tolerate it, it's too troubling, I don't want to experience any of the pain, point of view. So they're taking the thing that gave them OCD, their personality as it is, and trying to use that to sort of weave through treatment. And it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. That's the reason you have OCD in the first place. If you're coming at it from that state of mind, you're just not going to get there. And so I work with a lot of OCD people now, and I can generally tell within the first couple sessions, most importantly, that they get it. They understand what the point of treatment is, and they understand what the goal of treatment is and how to get there. Okay, that's really the easy part, the sort of intellectual understanding of what is it that we're doing, how do we get there, what should we expect along the way. The hard part is actually having faith that the treatment works and committing to it. Okay, but it does take that leap of faith. It really is a leap of faith to do treatment. Even if you have 10 of the best OCD therapists in the world telling you exactly how to do it and saying, trust me, this is the way to get freedom from your OCD is really strong. It's in there, it's heavy. And your non-OCD is just not as strong as your OCD. Through the process of ERP and through that process of taking faith that the treatment works and sticking with it and remembering what the goal of treatment is, through that process, your non-OCD gets stronger and your OCD gets weaker. But if you're not taking that first step, if you're really not taking that first step and taking the plunge and having faith in the treatment, and you're kind of playing a game of chicken with your ERP and with your emotions in general, and you're afraid to really take the first step, you're just not going to get there. You're not going to get there. These changes happen. These changes really, really happen because of the treatment. And the treatment requires that you confront your fears by doing exposures, and you give up all of your rituals that try to make you feel better. And you continue to have a sort of gusto, a come get me, I'm bigger than you, I'll take you on attitude, even in the face of those really bad spikes, when it feels like this isn't working at all and you just want to give in and do a small ritual right now and just get some. No, you need to remind yourself. You have to have faith. It will feel like the wrong thing many of times, hundreds, thousands of times. It's going to feel like the right thing to do is just do a ritual, to just gain some knowledge or information, to build a case, to get your answer, to get the thing figured out that you're worried about. And that instinct, that OCD instinct, is strong in you right now. The treatment is intended to make that weaker, making your non-OCD stronger, making your OCD weaker. But again, without that right mindset, if you're approaching it from an OCD type of person, approach, it's just not. It's not going to get there. It's really not going to get there. And so, my best advice that I can give on why to have faith in the treatment and how to have faith in the treatment, and I've mentioned this several times throughout the course of making videos, I like to put a general timeline where I say, hey, I'm actually going to do ERP, truly exposures and ritual prevention. I'm not going to do rituals for a certain amount of months, maybe 3 or 4 months. Just put a general timeline on it. And what that means is, okay, all of those days where it feels like you need to do a ritual right now, you remind yourself, I'm giving myself a window of maybe 4 months here to do this. And that means you genuinely walk away every time that instinct to ritualize comes up. You do your very best to walk away. Now, there's a million ways to get better at walking away from your instinct to do a ritual and from the desire to do it. Those are all, I've mentioned dozens of them, hundreds of them perhaps, strategies for how to remain uncertain and walk away from your instinct to ritualize. But so putting the timeline on it and reminding yourself what the goal of treatment is. I would remind yourself every single day. In fact, I would remind yourself when you wake up in the morning, have some notes written down right next to your bed, and you read them the first thing you wake up in the morning. And your main reminder ought to be, treatment is not intended for us to actually figure any of this out. I'm not going to figure out if I'm gay. I'm not going to figure out if I'm a pedophile. I'm not going to figure out if I'm going to hell or if I've offended God. I'm not going to figure out if I've harmed someone or I might harm someone tonight. I'm not going to do anything to prevent any of these things from happening. The goal of my treatment is to just feel less anxious, less triggered, less instinct to ritualize in the face of the uncertainty. That's it. Think about somebody in your life that just has no OCD tendencies. Even if you were to try to implant your OCD fears into their brain, you just know they wouldn't take root because of how they are. Okay, it's not that they know for sure the thing that you're saying to them, because a lot of people's OCD fears are genuinely things that we just can't know. So even if you were able to philosophically convince them that they didn't have certainty on this, it just wouldn't take hold. What we are trying to do through the process of treatment is to get closer to how that person already behaves and feels and lives their life. So you can't get better using the approach that you already have that gave you OCD in the first place. I hope this makes sense. Do me a favor, guys. Leave a comment. If you have any questions for me, you can email me at ocdmindful@gmail.com. And I hope this has been helpful. And I hope that you're really doing it, because it's worth it. It is worth it to not have OCD taking up your time. Okay, the freedom that you can get from this is just, it's bliss. Get your life back. Commit yourself to living ERP for the rest of your life. I promise you it's worth it. And I'll catch you on the next one. Thank you.